Sometimes it feels like I'm watching from the outside. Sometimes it feels like I'm breathing, but am I alive? I won't keep searching for answers that aren't here to find. All I know is I'm not home yet. This is not where I belong. Take this world and give me Jesus. This is not where I belong.
So when the walls come falling down on me, and when I'm lost in the current of a raging sea, I have this blessed assurance holding me.
All I know is I'm not home yet. This is not where I belong. Take this world and give me Jesus. This is not where I belong. When the earth shakes, I want to be found in you.
When the lights fade, I wanna be found in you.
All I know is I'm not home yet. This is not where I belong. Take this world and give me Jesus. This is not where I belong. All I know is I'm not home yet. This is not where I belong. Take this world and give me Jesus. This is not where I belong. 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 Okay guys, little technical difficulties. My camera is acting very badly right now, so give me 1 second. Supporting it right now, so let's see what's going on with this thing. I have no idea why my camera is not working. Let's see. Oh, there we go. I think I got it now. Alright. Oh man, it's about to... Oh, I was in the view. I guess it just wasn't working. But alright, it's here now. I don't know why it wasn't showing for me, but then it started showing. It's very interesting. So, hey, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining. Thanks for all the hearts, that intro. I know, right? Isn't that crazy? It's a great intro. And, this thing's telling me I need to go to bed. Oh, no, not yet. Not yet. I'm being told to come on here and broadcast, so that's what I'm doing. And I'm just hoping, just waiting to see. Oh, looks like, alright, I got everything working now too, which is really good. So now hopefully I'll be able to, yeah, if you hear anything in the background, that's my daughter. She's having a little sleepover with some friends, so don't, let me get this mute. There we go. So we don't hear echo. There we go. Alright. So, how's everybody doing tonight? How's everybody doing? Thanks for joining. Thanks for all the hearts, invites, follows, shares, the tweets, the retweets. You guys are spectacular at doing that, and I thank you so much for doing that. And Bed is calling you too. Listen, Bed's calling me too, but I'm rebellious. Exactly. It's like, no, I gotta come on and broadcast. But I got some tea. We're just chilling down from, it was a day today. That's all I gotta say. So we need to get into a little bit of word tonight, I think, is what I need, just to help calm things down, right? Hashtag no sleep. Yeah, I get enough sleep. On the other side. But hey, maybe I won't need it. Maybe we won't need sleep when we're in heaven. That would be kind of great. Just go. Alright guys, thanks so much for joining. Who am I? I am Jason Wallace. I'm a believer and follower of Jesus Christ. Let me bring on Live.me. I keep forgetting about these guys because Live.me is being very, very, very not so good lately. And they've been moderating me, saying I don't have anything in my stream. And then I contact their support. And then their support says, oh, you can broadcast on this. It's okay if you're not doing it. And I'm like, well, why do I keep getting these? And there seems to be some type of language barrier between me and whoever the tech support person is for Live.me, because they're not understanding what I'm saying. Even though I took screenshots. Thanks so much for sharing, for following me back there, Ocean. Awesome. All right, so bringing Live.me in. Title today is In Living Color. And, in living color. How about in living color? In living color. And that'll be good enough for those guys, because in living color. Alright. It's going. Alright. And Zoe, what are you doing? So, alright, there we go. 3, 2, 1, go. I don't have my other plug, so you guys are going to get the cheapy sound. That's how it works, unfortunately. But thanks for joining. Who am I? Fourth yawn, automatic shutdown. Yeah, exactly. Ain't gonna be no yawn. No. Welcome, Live.me. Thanks for joining. Alright, let's get into this. Alright, I am Jason Wallace. I'm a believer and follower of Jesus Christ. I'm a prayer warrior. I'm an intercessor. I'm a Bible reader. I'm a devoted husband and father. I am a child of God. I am a new creation in Christ. I am a citizen of heaven. I am a member of Christ's body. I am a friend of Christ. I am righteous and holy. Yes, there it is. I'm a little awake right now, so we're alright. Also, a very proud member of the Jesus Did It family. And Jesus Did It family can be found in a bunch of different places, but mostly on the website. Check it out. Go to www.jesusdidit.org. You guys can't see what I'm doing because Live.me is being not so good. JesusDidIt.org. Click on the red arrow link there. Download that. So all the affirmations, the I am statements, you definitely want to download those for sure. And In the middle there is the other official Jesus Did It broadcasters, and then people down below, other people that we like to watch, but there's also other people we like to watch too, like our friend Sev, who's over here on, what is it like playing a replay? Like our friend Sev over here on Periscope. There we go. Now it's live. I don't know, it was looking like it wasn't live. It was really weird. Alright, there we go. Like our friend Sev, Pastor Rick Costa. Who else is here that broadcasts? Is Angel Love still here? Yeah, make sure you're following Angel. She's starting to broadcast too in the morning or in the afternoon. Freedom Encounter. Hey Aaron, thanks for joining. Alright, now I got said some hellos. Alright, so check out our website. As we it's not like we're here to take and ask for money. Don't do any of that stuff. But if you really want one of these really cool shirts like I got, check out the website. There's a link to it. You know, all proceeds go to help out. You know, take care of the website and stuff like that. So that's really what it is. You know, nothing to hide here. We're not asking you for the money. We're asking for you to pray for us. We're asking to pray for you too. Yeah, man, make sure you're following that for sure. Alright, so want to join us on the Facebook group right there. Facebook group is Jesus Did It TV. And praise God for his obedient services who live by example. Hey, no problem. Thank you. This is one thing that I do. God's been leaning on my heart to do this for a long time. And I've been doing it for a long time already, a couple years now, and I've sort of backed down a little bit because of timing. Excuse me. But we still come out and broadcast. We still do this. I've got my vacation this week, which is Vacation Bible School. So there you go. Favorite movie. My favorite movie. I don't even know. I guess my favorite movie would be Shawshank Redemption. Shawshank Redemption, I think, would be my favorite movie. It's a good movie. Alright, well, there we go. Distraction of the hour. There you go. So, yes, check out the website right there, the Linktree link, the linktr.ee/Jason R. Wallace 7. That is all my links. So if you're interested, you can go take a look at all the different places I am on social media. So, in case you want to watch on a different platform, you certainly can, because I'm broadcasting on a whole bunch of them. We broadcast on today, we're on YouTube, YouNow, Live.me, DLive.io, Periscope, Facebook, Twitch, Smashcast, FC2, Peaks, Instajib, Vaughn Live, Africa TV, OK.ru, and I'm working on some other ones. There's a couple new ones out there, also like Kitty Live and all that stuff, but they don't support this type of broadcast. So, you know, with using the computer. So those ones will be like Live.me. I'll have to find another device and broadcast that way. But for now, this is what we got. Okay, so let's bring up our website. There we go. Okay, so you know, I don't sing live because never done it. But I do sing on the Smule app, and the Smule app is a really, really good app that allows you to be able to sing and with other people or yourself only, whatever you'd like. And so I'm in a group over there called the Smule Gospel Experience, and so it's SGE, #SGE. And so we do a bunch of different songs with them as well. I also do some, you know, some regular songs as well. As you can see, there's some secular songs that I sing. Someone said 10,000 Reasons, I think someone said, so we're going to do that one tonight with Mr. Styles. This is a good one. I like this one.
Alright, I hope you guys enjoy.
Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, I'll worship Your holy name. The sun comes up, it's a new day dawning. It's time to sing Your song again. Whatever may pass and whatever lies before me, let me be singing when the evening
I'll do that one next week.
comes. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, I'll worship Your holy name.
You're rich in love and you're slow to anger. Your name is great and Your heart is kind. For all Your goodness I will keep on singing. 10,000 reasons for my heart to find. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, I'll worship Your holy name. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship His holy name. I sing like never before, oh my soul, I'll worship Your holy name. I'll worship Your holy name. I'll worship Your holy name.
God bless you, brother. Well, shalom to you as well from Dallas, Texas. Thanks for joining, and yeah, Rick, we're going to do that one. It's been a long time since we did Rainbow Connection. That's because our friend, I don't know where JR has been. He's been kind of not here on the Periscope at all. So, let's see. That's a really old one. But yeah, he said that wanted me to do that song the one day. And I was like, okay, we'll do that song. Oh, you know what? I'm ignoring you now. Hold on a second. Let me pull up you now over here, make sure I don't have somebody. Okay, it says I got an audience of 1, but no one's in there. Okay. Alright, cool. I didn't want to make sure I wasn't ignoring those guys. Alright, chat. There we go. Okay, so, and of course now my computers. This is where I need help, guys. Prayers for this computer, because I'm about ready to throw it. I don't know why it's going so slow. It shouldn't be. Unless my kids are using up all my bandwidth. That's highly possible. Alright, well, we might have to... Oh, there we go. Scoot along here, we'll see. Alright, that was quite some time ago, so we're going to have to go back and back to quite some time ago. Oh, we did Sanctuary. That was a good song, too. Some of these older ones I did, I think I might want to do newer ones just because. Sweetly Broken, love that song. Let's see, those are Christmas time. What are we doing? What's going on? Thanks for joining. I'm just looking for the song Rainbow Connection. I know I can find it really quick. There he is. Now the question is, how long is it going to take to load up? Because it's been...
This goes out to my friend JR.
There we
Revelation
go.
10:1. I saw another mighty angel coming down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was on his head. His face was like the sun, and his feet were like pillars of fire. Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions. And rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Who said that every wish would be heard and answered when wished on the morning star? Somebody thought of that, and someone believed it, and look what it's done so far. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing, and what do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. All of us under its spell, we know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep? And have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweet sound that's called the young sailors? The voice might be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. La da da dee da 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 dee da da. Oh,
Hey,
Jesus is our.
my connection. Uh-oh. That was awesome. That was a request by JR. He's a fan from a while ago. A viewer. I shouldn't say a fan. He was a viewer from a while ago, and yeah, he was like, "Man, you got to do this song. Your voice is perfect for that song." And I'm like, "Get out of town." And everybody's like, "Oh, this song sounds so good now that you did it." I'm like, "Okay." If you say so. So yeah, we did a worship song. We did a not a worship song, but I also put some Bible into it as well, because a lot of times, sometimes people get a little sideways with music and about things that are not not the church songs, not that. But if you could use it as a point to springboard, right? Use that point to springboard into a discussion with somebody, sometimes music is a way of doing that. There's many times so I've gone to concerts, and hey, how's it going, Matt Martins? Thanks so much for joining. So many times I've gone to concerts, and what am I doing? I'm the guy there praying for those guys, right? Grace and peace to you and everyone else here. Thanks so much. I do appreciate that. What's up, Bassman? Some people get things twisted too much, a little bit too legalistic with stuff, and really we're gonna have a little bit of fun with it too. God doesn't want us to all be, not having fun with this thing, because we have to. Balance is key. There's no doubt. I learned that one. It took a little bit of time for me to learn it. I was going a little sideways too with it, but I'll tell you what, after I figured that part out, now the hard part is maintaining that balance. It's really tough. It is a tough thing, and sometimes you go on, you slip with a little bit of extra swear here and there, and then all of a sudden you're back into that same rut, and I find myself dropping into that little rut every now and then, and it's tough. It's really, really tough. So definitely is balance for sure. All right, let's get into our Bible reading for today. Bible screen. Properties. I don't see it. Ruh-roh. How about that one? Is it there now? Nope. There it is. I'm like, where'd it go? Yeah, I'm just grateful for you guys, and you've helped. Hey, listen, man, that's what we're here for. We're here to pray. We're here to pray for people. Hey, angels, ghosts, thanks so much for all that cool stuff you're sending. The swords, that is wild. Thanks so much. I want to make sure I'm following you, because you definitely given some nice stuff there. I appreciate that. Wow, the diamonds and all that stuff. You're awesome. Thank you so much. All right, so let's get into this word tonight. I'm still sending stuff. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right, let's get into God's word, and let's try to do this. There we go. And thanks so much for all that great stuff you're doing over there. I am number 36 over there. That's very, very cool. All right, so we're reading tonight Psalm 86. I cannot believe that we are that far along. PSA 86. Wasn't that long ago, a couple years, that we've taken some time to read this Bible, because hey, that's what we gotta do right there. Okie dokie. Thanks so much. We read from the New King James Version, and because that's the closest to the King James Version, which a lot of people consider it as being the official version, but this is the closest version that is most English and easiest for us to at least for me to comprehend. What's going on? Korean food, dude. I haven't seen you in a long time. How you been, man? How's things? So, New King James Version, Psalm 86 is what we're doing. Wow, thanks so much for all that great stuff, angels. You're awesome. All right, so we're reading from New King James Version. We use the Blue Letter Bible, and the Blue Letter Bible, you're welcome, from Philippines. Thanks so much for sharing. All right, I gotta share. I gotta follow back on you, so we're good. Hey, Hunter, thanks, and you're welcome. First day. How you doing? All right, so we read from this Blue Letter Bible, and the reason why I do this Blue Letter Bible is because it's really cool. There is some stuff here. It's probably not a good word here to use for tonight, but if I really wanted to know, what does this mean? Teach me your way, O Lord, right? And I'm really confused at it, even though I don't. That makes sense for us. RCA is in West Michigan. We use ESV. Yep. It just depends what you're using. ESV is okay. It's okay. NIV is a little bit of a different translation. That's the one my church uses, but it's a bit of a different translation. So some couple of verses were missing. So in order to be complete, and that's what we do. So if you were really interested to find out what this is in the Masoretic text, right? You can learn about it in Hebrew. You can learn the words in Hebrew and how to say them. So if I wanted to figure out what this word was,
Strong's H 3068. Yehovah.
Jehovah. So you can see that you can go dig in the word. You can go look at the Greek if you're interested. There's also inside of here, there is cross references and different Bibles, dictionaries and commentaries. Commentaries are very helpful because that gives you a different view. Dr. J. Vernon McGee is very good. I like him. He's got some good thoughts on this stuff, and of course Chuck Smith is a good one as well. Spurgeon is really good. It's older text, but it's definitely there. We just switched from NIV to ESV last year. Still not 100% sure why. Yeah, some people, they flip-flop. It's what happens. It's whatever sometimes it's whatever the leadership of the church decides that they want to do, Some people say that the NIV is more complete because it was redone completely, from the original texts. But however it is, God's word is God's word, and it will show and shine true. And don't get it twisted. It doesn't mean there's nothing wrong with them. They're all God's word. It's just how they're interpreted. So, how they're translated. I shouldn't say interpreted, how they're translated. So, Psalm 86, a prayer of David. Bow down your ear, O Lord. Hear me, for I am poor and needy. Mercy, prayer for mercy and meditation of the excellencies of the Lord. Preserve my life, for I am holy. You are my God. Save your servant who trusts excuse me. Sorry. Save your servant who trusts in you. Be merciful to me, O Lord, for I cry to you all day long. Rejoice, the soul of your servant. For to you, O Lord, I lift up my soul. For you, O Lord, are good and ready to forgive, and abundant in mercy to all those who call upon you. Give an ear, O Lord, to my prayer, and attend to the voice of my supplications. In the day of my trouble I will call upon you, for you will answer me. Among the gods there is none like you, O Lord, nor are there any works like your works. Thanks so much for following, Chike. All nations whom you have made shall come and worship you before you, O Lord, and shall glorify your name. For you are great and do wondrous things. You alone are God. Teach me your way, O Lord. I will walk in your truth. Unite my heart to fear your name. I will praise you, O Lord, my God, when all my heart, and I will glorify your name forevermore. For great is your mercy toward me, and you have delivered my soul from the depth of Sheol. O God, the proud have risen against me, and the mob of violent men have sought my life, and have not set you before them. But you, O Lord, are a God full of compassion and gracious, long-suffering, and abundant in mercy and truth. O, turn to me and have mercy on me. Give your strength to your servant, and save the son of your maidservant. Show me a sign of good. that those who hate me will see it and be ashamed. Because you, Lord, have helped me and comforted me. Amen. Amen. Sorry, that one hit me a little bit. You know, it's great that he just loves us no matter what. And we is just great. It is impactful, right? That's a really good one. Psalm 86. You know, he delivered us from hell. Yeah, what's going on in your life? Yep. I hear you, man. I hear you. Stuff goes on. It's like these. Thanks so much for sending me those star points and stuff. You guys are awesome. Jay, thanks for sharing out over there on live.me. Yeah. Listen, he right there. And you have delivered my soul from the depths of Sheol. You know, yeah, you're gonna have to read it again. Psalm 86. Definitely, I'll read that one again. But wait, there's more. Wait, there's more. I have a feeling today's Our Daily Bread is probably gonna line right up like it always does for some reason. It's just what it does. So we read from the Our Daily Bread. Our Daily Bread is a free publication. You might be able to get it at your church. There's a good possibility. They're at a bunch of places. If you can't get it at your church, check out the website, odb.org. If you are, you didn't have to. He didn't have to. Right? But he did. Yes. And if you're in the Buffalo area and you need a copy of this and you can't find one, you can send me a message and I will meet up with you and give you a copy. I am an ambassador for Our Daily Bread, so that means that I have several copies of these sent to me every month and I give them out to people. So that's what we do. And so definitely. And if you're passing through, let me know. I'll give you a copy. Or you can get your own copy. They've got like all kinds of different apps and stuff like that. You know, they got a whole bunch of them on their website. So take a look at it and see. You will pleasantly be surprised at that. Sorry, I got a message over here real quick. Yeah, let's see. Too many of those things. There we go. Alright, well, we'll just do that and hope that works. Those are words of hope. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. If we go back, let me pull it back up. Let's go pull it back up again. Yeah, let's do that. So if we go back into it, right? He says here, it says, preserve my life, for I am holy. You are my God. Save your servant who trusts in you. Save your servant. That's me, right? That's us. We're the servants. And we put our trust in him. Right? Be merciful to me, O Lord. For I cry to you all day long. We could only hope that we cry every day to him. And not be so stuck in ourselves, right? Rejoice the soul of your servant. Just be happy for our soul, right? We want him to be happy for our soul. For to you, O Lord, lift up my soul. For you, Lord, are good and ready to forgive. and abundant in mercy to all those who call upon you. Call his name. Give an ear, O Lord. Oh, the Our Daily Bread booklets. I like Words of Hope booklets. Yes. No, you're right. You're right. There was something in here I wanted to dig out real quick. For great is your mercy towards me, and you have delivered my soul from the depths of hell, right? So with that, yes, these books are nice nuggets, right? They're nice chunks, easy to read chunks. They are a really good devotional. So if you want to get your word in quick in the morning, right? That's fine. If you want to get your word in quick in the morning, this is a real easy way to do it because it's got the Bible verses in it and everything. So today's reading from the Our Daily Bread for Sunday, July 14th. In living color. When Xavier McCory, put on the glasses Aunt Selena sent for his 10th birthday, he burst into tears. Born colorblind, Xavier had only seen the world in shades of gray, white, and black. With his new Enchroma glasses, however, Xavier saw color for the first time. His euphoria at witnessing the beauty around him made his family feel like they'd beheld a miracle. Amen. Witnessing God's colorfully radiant brilliance also invoked a powerful reaction in Apostle John, Revelation 1:17. After encountering the full glory of the resurrected Christ, John glimpsed a throne in heaven with someone sitting on it, and the one who sat there had the appearance of jasper and ruby, a rainbow that shone like an emerald-encircled throne. From the throne came flashes of lightning. In a different time, Ezekiel had a similar vision, seeing what looked like the throne of lapis lazuli, right? Which is like a bluish, right? With a figure above the throne who looked like glowing metal, as if full of fire. The magnificent figure was surrounded with rainbow-like radiance. One day, we will meet Christ face to face. These visions give us a hint of the magnificence that awaits us as we celebrate the beauty of God's creation here and now. May we live in anticipation for the glory yet to be revealed. Amen. That was written by Remy Oyedele. That's great stuff. That is great stuff. Oh my goodness. So the question for today was, what response does the color and beauty of creation invoke in you? How can you express your gratitude to God for His wonderful gift? And the prayer for today says, Father, words fail us when we try to imagine what we will experience when we meet you face to face. Thank you for the small hints of your beauty you have placed in our world. Amen. Amen. Thanks for joining. Craig Kilgore, how's it going, buddy? How are you doing? So, yeah, that is good stuff. Today's reading was from Revelation chapter 4, verses 1 through 6. And the key verse for today is Revelation 4, verse 3. The one who sat there had the appearance of jasper and ruby. Jasper and ruby. That's good stuff. Let's see. iRoller, thanks for joining. Alright. Guys, if you have any prayer requests, praise reports, anything like that, love to lift them up to our God. I'd love to pray for you. Oh, it didn't flip. There we go. Now it'll flip. Holy cow. 737 viewers on Periscope. Goodness, that's amazing. 50 viewers on live.me. That's even more amazing. Thanks for joining. Hey Phoebe, thanks for joining on live.me. Or sorry, you now. Alright. Any prayer requests or praise reports? If not, that's okay. I know Pastor Rick was praying. Guys, I would like for you to please pray for my family to bring us closer together. Right there, buddy. You were right there. I'm with you. Lord, we just ask for it's Russell, right? If I remember correctly. Aha, I got it. Russell. I gotcha. Lord, we lift up Russell's family tonight, Lord. We just ask for unity to be spoken over that family, Lord. Lord, allow them to be able to see you, Lord, and allow them all to just experience your love. And Lord, we just ask that that family be brought together to come into union and just work through any issues that might be there, Lord. Lord, and we just ask for a strengthening of their bond together, Lord, and especially their bond with you. So, Lord, we just speak over that family, and we ask for peace and comfort and patience while working through whatever it may need to be straightened out with that family, Lord. So we ask this over Russell's family in Jesus' mighty and powerful name. We pray. Amen. Lord, we lift up Gary's, was it Gary? Right, Gary, bassman. I'm afraid, I don't know, having a brain fart. Thanks for the follow over there, Tetra OG. Lord, we lift up and we pray for guidance and wisdom for after losing church to plant and to one. Lord, we lift up Pastor Sean there, Lord. We ask for just guidance, wisdom, Lord, and allow that ministry to continue to grow. Lord, Lord, we just ask that you allow the congregation to surround that pastor and lift him up and bring him into a place not where he is being idolized, but a place where he feels comforted and capable of delivering the message, your word, truthfully to that congregation, Lord. Lord, we just ask for that if there's another pastor that's ready to go and help out with this church, Lord, we just ask that person step up and fill in that position as well, Lord. Lord, we just ask for just a comforting and a peacefulness, and Lord, allow that transition to work in your favor. If it is your will, Lord, we ask this in Jesus' mighty and powerful name. Amen. Yeah, for him as well as his family, exactly. Yeah, we're a 2,000 plus member church. It's gonna be a lot. That is a lot of stress on 2,000. Yeah, that's a stressful deal there. Yeah, that's a big deal. 2,000 member church, only one pastor. Yeah, he's gonna need lots of prayer, because that's a lot of work. That is a lot of work to do that. Whew. Yeah, they better hurry up and hire a couple pastors, because you're gonna need them. I mean, just 2,000 member church, you gotta have a couple services, right? It's gotta be a couple, 2 morning services plus an evening. I was gonna say you gotta have like a couple, just to get through the number of people. That's amazing. Well, God bless him, and I hope that it does not tire him and allows him to be able to still continue to to maintain a good family relationship. Yeah. Looks like my Facebook just went wonky. So if Facebook went wonky, I'm sorry. He puts on a good front, but we can tell it's gonna wear him down. It will wear him down. Can't do it. He's only human. Remember that, guys. Pastors are human as well, and they need to be lifted up. Pray for your pastors. Pray for them. They need to be lifted up in prayer for sure, because that's the only way, you know, because they won't tell you. They won't tell you when stuff's not doing well for them. They won't. Trust me. And sometimes you just gotta be, you know, listen. Anyways, he's my prayer focus for this evening. That's right. Keep him in your prayers. You should always pray for your pastor and your pastor's family. Because if the pastor is in, you know, in a good spot, the whole congregation is going to be in a good spot as well. You know, for sure. So, we'll keep him in prayer, for sure. Anybody else? Prayer requests? Did I miss any? I hope I didn't miss any. We want to be used, not abused. Exactly. There's a particular point, you know, where you want to make sure you don't idolize, but we want to make sure that they're taken care of as well, because they go through some stuff, man. Could you imagine having to deal with being called to go pray with someone who's dying, right? 43 years old. Yeah, exactly. 43 years old. He's my age. I couldn't even imagine. I don't even know if I could. I don't know if I could be a pastor, just because of the, you know, the amount of time, effort, and energy. I mean, maybe I could, but you know, that would require quitting my job and doing that, and that would be that'd be a huge change. And not only that, you're on call. I mean, you're basically on call. You know, someone gets sick and you need to go pray with them, you know, or whatever it may be. You know, you got to do that. You got stuff you got to do. You got to drop what you're doing and go tend to the flock. You know, it's not easy. And then to give up, you know, your time, your Sunday every Sunday morning. You can't sit there and be filled up. So who fills up the pastor? How does the pastor get filled up? How does he get in a position where he's comfortable and being filled up and spoken to and you know, just allowing to be able to chew on the word, you know, while someone else is delivering the message? It's tough. That's why our church, they don't great team of deacons and elders who call on. Yeah, our church, we have a couple fill-in pastors that come in and speak, because one thing we don't want to do is we don't want to follow a pastor, right? So following a pastor is not what you want. You want to follow Jesus, and then, you know, if that pastor is delivering a good message, then you stick with that guy, because, you know, but don't idolize them pastors, for sure. It's not good for them. It's not good for you. It's not healthy. So, there we go. But still, our pastors, we need to lift them up in prayer for sure. You know, do something nice for them. Go buy them, take him over some dinner to his family one night, you know. Stuff like that. Give them a break. Something little like that, you know. You wouldn't think it would be nothing, but spaghetti dinner, you know, is good enough, and with 5 boys, and, you know, that'd be a perfect thing to do. That would make the comfort. Hey, thanks for all the tweets and follows and shares there, Seeker of the Truth. Thanks so much. Alright. Oh, it looks like my battery's going low battery. Low battery. Alright, no more prayer requests. No more praise reports. That's alright. We've got plenty of viewers over here. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe the amount of viewers. 877 viewers on Periscope. That's amazing. Yep, see? That's exactly that. That's exactly that. These helps out, right? So, that's right. Spaghetti and meatballs. Go take him some spaghetti dinner. I bet that pastor will be happy. Yeah, we do that a lot in our churches. When someone's sick or someone's gone through a surgery or or a hard time, that's what we do. Bring them food. Food's a good way to deliver the message of Jesus. You know that? And do that for people who are having babies and surgeries. Yep, that's what we do too. But yeah, turn it around and give it back to the pastor. I'm betting he would enjoy that. New laptop, here we come for those super hearts. That would be nice, I hope. If they would give me, I got replay, so hopefully, but they still don't define. This is the thing that bothers me. They don't define what those are, right? Time lag, you said the same thing I just typed. Ha. Yeah, there is a little bit of a lag. Sometimes there is a lag. I think it's up to 15 seconds, sometimes more, depends. Depends on the platform. Facebook's the worst. Facebook is like 30 seconds. They gotta run it through their filters and make sure I'm not saying stuff that's bad. According to them. Alright. So, what I need to do is this. I need to go over here. Live.me. I love you guys. I'm going to shut you down early because I got to go take care of something with Peaks. Because I got to shut them down first. Because I've gotten a couple of my broadcasts taken down for a particular reason. So, I'm going to shut you guys down first. Live.me. I love you guys. We'll catch you next time. Just know Jesus loves you. And we will see you next time. Thank you so much for joining and being here. I love you guys. Yes, we want to disconnect. Oh wow, how about that? Anybody want to guess what the score was? It's Big Brother book, exactly. Anybody want to guess what the score was? That's pretty interesting. You think so? I don't know. Just maybe. Maybe not. Yeah, you got a B. I think I got a B. I mean, I don't want to steal this from Pastor Rick. It's a really fun thing to do, but the score tonight was very interesting. I can't believe it. That's actually very interesting. No sound. Go out. Come back in again. It will be sound. Wait, you said 50 people. Haha. Probably an A then. Oh, no, maybe. Maybe. Good night. No problem there, Russell. You have a very nice night. You don't have the really guy though. I know, right? Teach you C++? I know C++. You don't want to learn it. Guys, I got a B+. That's like, I've never gotten that high of a score. Ever gotten that high of a score. It's crazy. Anyways, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go hop on the peaks and shut it down before I get the thing. There we go. Alright, so peaks is gonna go. There we go. I know, right? I was like, what? What? That's crazy. Triple X Pill. Thanks for joining. Interesting names. Me. And I'm live. And we're gonna watch the stream. Is there a way for me to stop the stream? Well, if I can't stop it, it's be understood. I don't know how to stop it. Alright, well, here we go. More interactions than not, yep. That's it. So here's what we're going to do. For peaks, whoever the guy is that keeps banning me on peaks and taking away my broadcast. If you're on peaks and you want to, do you know what that means? High five. No. Peaks, make sure you use the in-app payment method if you want to support us, support me in this ministry. Alright, peaks only. Alright, so now I think if I go live on there, it will shut down that broadcast. Let's see. Let's start broadcasting, because I don't think it'll let me do two. Hey, what's going on? Shut down. Yes. Perfect. That worked out very well. Okay, so peaks is shut down. Now we can, yeah. Now I can do the shutdown, because it's peaks has got something going on, and they keep doing that. Just weird for me. So that was the wrong screen. Jesus, did a promotion. Rick! I don't know what's going on. Did we pick a day and time? I think we did. I've been a little out of the loop, guys. I'm sorry. And I may not be able to participate in this one either. Rick, what day was it? Was there a day that we said we were going to do this? Was it the 27th at 6:30? Was it? 27th at 6:30? I think so. I think. I may or may not be on this one. 27. Yeah, it's 6:30. Okay. We will see if I am able to make it. We'll see. At 6:30 p.m. But either way, Pastor Rick will be there. Pretty sure Becky will be there. 6:30 Eastern p.m. Eastern. Alright. There we go. That makes it better. So the 27th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, the Jesus Did It team will be getting together to go over a Bible study. And the Bible study is going to be based on based on fellowship, I believe is what we said what it was going to be. So on the Saturday again, not the Sunday, and that might be a going theme beyond that Saturday broadcast. It seems to be a little bit better. But if I can't be there on the call, I will come on and support it, of course. And I will definitely watch the replay. But we'll see. based on yawning. Exactly. Exactly. So, yes. This one here is actually starting to produce some traction. So, guys, if you have a church or a business and you need help getting your live streaming stuff up and running, and you want to see this kind of stuff do, or you can watch my church stream. That one's produced by me as well, and put together all the stuff for it, the right parts, the right everything to hook it up, to give you the right sound and all that stuff is it's not a very easy task, but I know how to. Lucky for you, I know how to do that. So we'll take whatever you can use. We'll work with it, and we'll try to get it together for you, to work with you to get things up and running. So definitely. Or do you need coaching, right? Do you need someone to help you, show you how to do the transitions, how to build the stuff in the Open Broadcaster software, to do all these things? Contact me and let me know. We will work out a budget for you, and we'll discuss, things like that. So definitely helpful. So send me an email at jason@jesusdidit.org. Sorry. This is the lovely weather. The pollen's really high today, so of course I'm feeling the effects of it. So, guys, if you have any more prayer requests or praise reports, otherwise we're gonna put some song on and we're gonna head on out. And I think that's what we'll do. So if you guys, I thank you so much for joining here. Let's pray real quick, and then we'll head on out. All right, let's pray. Lord, Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this time tonight, Lord, allowing us to be able to get together in fellowship and to pray for each other, and to lift each other up, and to encourage each other, and to get into your word and just dig in a little bit. Oh, it was yawn. It was yawn too. Sorry. Lord, we just thank you for the great people that come on the broadcast here and share it out and share with their friends. And Lord, we just thank you for your word, your gospel to be being spread to all those who may not be able to have heard it before. Lord, we thank you for each and every single person that comes on the broadcast here and shares their prayer requests. And the ones that prayer requests that are not been said, Lord, we lift those up as well, the unspokens. Lord, we lift up those people who are suffering and need help. Lord, we lift up our families and our strengthening of our marriages. Lord, you know that we all need some help with that, and Lord, just guide our ways with that. In your mighty and powerful and amazing Son's name, we pray. Amen and amen. All right, guys, let's go pick out a songs and head on out. Thank you so much for joining. I love you all. But know this, all right, Jesus Christ loves you the most, and he will never leave you, he'll never forsake you. He will always be here with you. Talk to him. He wants to hear from you. He wants to know that everything is good, and that he wants to know the stuff you don't got going on. Sometimes just say thank you, God, for helping me. Thank you, God, for being there. Thank you for that glass of water. Sometimes we don't realize how great we do have it, but his love is amazing. So there we go. Going to bed early. Woo woo. Alright, guys, love y'all. Get some rest. Be blessed. Love y'all.
Before I spoke a word, you were singing over me. And you've been so, so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. And you've been so, so kind to me. And oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. And I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. And oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God.
When I was your foe, still your love fought for me. You have been so, so good to me. When I felt no worth, you paid it all for me. You have been so, so kind to me. No, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. And I couldn't earn it, and I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God.
There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me.
No shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, no lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, no lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, no lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it, and I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God.
Overwhelming, reckless, incomprehensible love.
Amen.
God bless you. Thank you for
God bless
joining.
you too,
Take
brother.
care.